All right, we're live. Tap in Birdie, Valero Texas Open special Sunday night edition here with the famous model maniac, aka Byron. How are you doing tonight, man?
Brian, I'm doing good. I had my first winning week of the year, dude. Can you believe that? It took me this
Dude,
long to actually.
congrats. I'm happy
I
for you.
know. Jesus Christ. And I didn't even hit a winner. So Toasty coming in clutch there was quite nice. Rory making a nice little bogey on the final hole to give Toasty the top five. Oh, what a beautiful sequence of events there. So doing good, man. Doing good. Walk the dogs, drinking some bush lights. Yeah, we were chatting about that beforehand. So I'm ready to have a good tap in birdie on Inside Sports Network.
Yeah, no, I do appreciate you coming on a Sunday night. I know it's not standard. I'm going on a work trip this week, so I'm not going to be able to do my normal Monday night edition. But shout out DraftKings. I've been really happy with them posting odds on Sunday night. It seems like a no-brainer after the tournament ends just to get some more action. So we have a pretty good idea of what the field is, obviously, and what the odds are going to look like next week. So we'll get into that. We'll talk some Houston Open that we all watched and kind of enjoyed. I wish it was a bit closer, but I'm glad we got some drama at the end. And we'll do a
It
little
was a perfect
Masters.
golf tournament, man.
Yes. Well, and then we'll do some. I heard there's a golf tournament in Georgia in 2 weeks. That's pretty big. So we will talk some Masters. So I mean, this is a good time of golf. This is, I think, the stretch. Kind of, all the elevated events early in the season into the Masters, in my opinion, is the best because it gets kind of bleak after the Masters when we're doing, the Zurich Classic. Dual pairings week.
It's a good decompression, like you get RBC, then they go off into Louisiana there. I'm just enjoying every week, BK. You can't really go into, the cycle of the golf content. By the time the Open
Yeah,
Championship blows by, we're looking forward to the century again, kind of thing. But we'll have
yeah.
some Ryder Cup stuff. But it's just nice to just enjoy. We are priming so hard right now, like the last couple tournaments are just leading us into what could be an awesome Masters, man. We've got some really good golfers playing some really good golf.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. So before we get into all that, want to shout out ISN as always. Huge week, lot of Minwoo Lee tickets, and we are running a promotion. I will shout it out: 25% off for the monthly and for the yearly. If you want to sign up, I think it's a great time. We'll have on-course reporting for Valero and for the Masters. Code is Masters Month and Masters year. So Houston Open, Minwoo Lee wins. I would put him, before this week into top 5 golfers on the PGA Tour that need a PGA Tour win, that are the most talented without a PGA Tour win. So I'm glad he got it done because I truly do believe that, he needed one for kind of the way he's talked about, where he's priced sometimes, and, his talent and everything like that. Would you agree with that?
I am eating crow hardcore in this instance, bud, because I've been speaking about Minwoo cooking up White Castle sliders. Like everyone's like the chef, like he's all spunk and no junk, man. Like so. I think we're kind of just looking for that kind of performance from him, and I was just waiting for him to pull up players. Get offline, and it got close. He
Yeah.
got into some sticky situations that he to make a 6 and a 5 on the 2 par 5s where you used 4 golf balls.
Yeah.
That's you deserve to win it then, like I'll give him his props, but the iron play was great. He was dialing in the irons, man. So he's moving in the right direction, and I think this could give him some seriously good confidence because he's just been flirting with the top 10 and then popping out. Like I bet 2 bets, BK, a Rory top 5 and a Minwoo Lee top 30. I feel like such a dipshit because I've got like this Minwoo Lee top 30 and it was just never a sweat ever this week, so congrats to him.
Yeah, no, I think I was definitely impressed with the iron game. I think anyone that, dives into stats and everything knows that he's, a very good driver, very good short game and putter, but a terrible iron player. Like truly like awful iron
Sub
player.
average. Yeah.
Historically. So I think that's really, what propelled him to victory this week was having a decent iron week where, that, the driver putter is going to work. And he was, spraying it, on certain holes and kind of putting himself in precarious situations. But at the end of the day, I don't think you can really be upset because that's how everyone handicapped this tournament was like, yo, like there's really like no like penalties off the tee. Like you could just kind of go bombs away. And you obviously have to hit good iron shots, but a lot of it with the big greens is going to be around the green and and putting. And it really was a perfect course fit. And I think Kevin Kisner said it on the broadcast when they went live on NBC. And he said, if there was a course on the PGA Tour I would want to have a 5-shot lead on, and I was Minwoo Lee, it would be this place. So great course fit. Wins at a good number at around 35, 40-1. So I was impressed with the performance today, to be honest.
Dude, you know what it reminded me a lot of in a weird way was the US Open, where Rory and Bryson just absolutely just sent it out left into left field. It doesn't matter what lie you get on the left side there, just be left.
Yeah.
And that's what Min just did. He carry it like 325 on the final.
Dude, he was absolutely pounding it off the tee. Like solid like 193, 194 ball speed. Like he was 330 on like every hole. It seemed like, and it really is impressive for a guy of that frame and kind of stature to have that high of ball speed. Like a lot of people can get to the 190s, but they usually don't bring it out in tournament play that frequently. But he on this course just fucking sends it off the tee, and it's quite impressive, I guess.
And
I mean, it's not, he's not finessing anything, but
no,
and
he hits it relatively straight most of the time.
He did hit a lot of good drives today,
and it's so crazy that when he was like under the gun the most, he was just ripping it like 194 when he was the most nervous. Just like send it. I think that's a great strategy. So worked out most of the time. So good for him.
Yeah, I mean, like I said before, like I really think he needed this win. Again, I don't think he's talked about as a top player on the PGA Tour, but him, Cam Young, Tommy Fleetwood, a couple other guys, like they need a PGA Tour win, and I think that like Pot Guider at Mexico, it's just like, when you get these super long guys on these wide open courses, you just play them. And, all the top of the leaderboard was just littered with guys with that 185 ball speed that, they all kind of came to fruition and really panned out. And I know Toasty played well here last year. He played well again. What do you make of Toasty's theatrics?
It's Tyrrell Hatton. It's Argentine Hatton, man. It's amazing. Like yesterday he lost his absolute shit on like a good miss. Like he missed it to the fat side of the green, club spike, like in front of he's not worried about what people think about him. It was awesome. I love that he got engaged with the officials there when Minwoo they took half an hour to play that hole. I understand there was some wait times, but Jesus, dude, that's like 5 minutes a shot essentially, which is crazy to think about. But he's awesome. He was walking off the green and I was like, what is this guy going to do next? Like, is anyone safe around him? Because he must be like on tilt right now. And, like the cameraman like stood dead still. And as he like walked by him, I thought he was just going to like full on like Devonta Adams, just shove that guy out the way. But the cameraman lived to tell another tale. But yeah, he's fun, dude. And he's entertaining. He goes for it. Like he just full send. He's got like zero course management.
Yeah, what I will say is that, pace of play has been a big topic, of conversation this year on the PGA Tour. It's been, a very relevant subject. So I don't know if people were like I think people were definitely upset with Minwoo's pace of play. But if we're going to want changes to the PGA Tour and we want people to play faster and everything like that, like there's nothing wrong with Toasty complaining to the rules official about how long it's taking for him to play a drop. Like I did think it took an absolute egregious amount of time. And Minwoo, I'm giving him a slight pass because you're in the final group. No one's behind you. He was very deliberate today. I love when the announcers say they don't want to say slow play. Very deliberate. Aaron Wright, very deliberate player. And look, I understand, but I just hope that it irks me that a guy like Patrick Cantlay, who maybe had a couple bad moments like one time, but is historically not that slow of a player, but is like kind of nerdy and like people don't like him. He gets shit on for slow play when a guy like Min Woo, who, 17-year-olds on Instagram love because he posts Instagram reels, like just get a complete pass. I just want them to be kind of held to the same standard.
Minwoo's never going to be held to the same standard. I mean, like he's that, those charts you see like all hype, no results kind of thing. He was that until this week and was still fine. Everyone just loves him so much and he's such a charismatic guy. He can just get away with all the shit that he's getting up to. But, ultimately, if you just behind the group in front of you, that's good to go. I guess, it is what it is. But that final hole, dude, that was
deliberate.
Teeth, dude.
And then he switched the gloves. Dude, your glove's
sweaty
fine.
hands.
Like your glove is totally fine. Even my dad doesn't watch golf, but he was watching the final hole because he wanted to see if Minwoo was going to blow it. And he was like, why is he taking so long to hit the shot? I'm like, it's literally a 150-yard wedge shot. Like it was not even anything remotely.
No.
But I will shout out, that lag putt on 18 was special.
Very good.
That was really impressive. Not that it was, insanely difficult or anything, but to, give yourself a literal tap in when you need a par to win. I was very impressed with that.
Yeah. And dude, I often speak about putting being like binary where when you get a little nervous, it's either in or it's not kind of thing. And today he was still pretty solid with the putter. You could easily see him missing a couple early on, I think hole 3 or 4.
Yeah, he was giving himself good iron loads, like 15 footers, 30 percenters, and missed a couple. But he didn't make any egregious putts today. A lot of his birdies were just really good iron shots.
Good iron shots,
congratulations to the Minwoo backers. I know he was a big community win, so that's great for everyone. So
except last year, right?
Yeah, what last year?
Were you on Minwoo?
No, I was on Jag. I had Jags last. I really never bet Minwoo, so he wasn't really someone like I can say. I think I bet him like once in the past like 2 years. Not a guy I bet too often. But I asked you. I know a lot of people will do this. I'm not saying this is my idea or anything. But we're gonna power rank the top 10 most likely players to win the Masters this year, in our opinion. This is not a vacuum bet. This is not a, odds board bet. This is just what we personally think in the moment. So
all the dads sitting on the couch, these are the guys you want to look at.
This is like, we're at the bar having a couple Miller Lights and we're debating on who has a better chance to win the Masters this year in this very moment. So I would assume our top 10 will be, somewhat similar. But we shall see. So I'll go and then you do your number. We'll both say our number ones and then you say your number 2 first and then we'll.
You don't want to go 10 backwards? Little tease?
Fine. Sure. I'm fine with that. I think that's better, actually. Good call. So for my number 10 golfer, I was kind of debating this. I don't even know if I really like it, to be honest, for my number 10. But I just think, given the historical major record, it was hard for me to leave him off. I will say he has not done anything in a major since he's won the PGA Championship. And I think that if he's going to be on the Ryder Cup team, I need to see something from the majors. I don't give a fuck what you do at Live Bangkok. I don't care. Brooks is my 10th most likely golfer to win the Masters.
I don't have him in my top 10.
I'm totally fine with that. Genuinely, totally fine with that.
Yeah, it's just, if we were doing this time last year, he's like number 1, like after what he got up to. But last year was just a complete letdown, after he got off to that.
In the majors. I don't want the Live bots saying, he won Live Singapore by 5. Like, you got me.
Yeah, congrats. We just saw today why 72 holes is important. Look how he came back to the pack, So I just, he hasn't shown us much last year. So there's another guy that I have ranked pretty high up that I'm giving a similar pass to, but
Okay.
like, yeah.
All right. Who's
So
your 10th?
Cam Smith, I just feel like
Okay.
at Augusta, dude, he's inevitable. At some point he's going to put on a green jacket. He just needs to show up with a bit more form.
If he didn't go to Live, I would agree with you, but I'm not sure I agree after he went to Live. But I'm fine with the bet. His course history there is great. Yeah. What's he been doing on Live? Are you in the weeds on that or no?
Oh, buddy, I have no idea what he's been up to on Live. Okay. But I just figured,
he's like 45. I mean, are you in?
I think his number drifts the week of usually, for some reason. I remember getting in at like 33s and we started like seeing 50s, I think, last year. No, so
I do remember that, or maybe it was like the year before or something.
So, but him around this golf course, dude, he could be in the shittiest form and still kind of have an inspired week. I think his putter is the ultimate equalizer. So if he just finds that putter on this golf course, dude, he's Gucci. But I figured I couldn't do a Masters power. I mean, for the majors, he's not in my top 10.
But for the Masters, I agree.
Yes.
Agreed 100%. Yeah. All right, who's your number 9? Ninth most likely golfer to win the Masters?
Russell Henley.
Number 9. All right. I like your list. I genuinely like your list that you're not just going down top 10 in the odds. So this is kind of where, like, if you think he's 9, he's like 50, 60 to 1 to win the Masters right now.
Yeah, I think he's a great value. Personally, I prefer him for like the US Open type situation out. Is it Oakmont this year or whatever?
Oakmont,
so, love that kind of course fit for him. But dude, he just balls out. Like we were playing him at the Cognizant, he completely baffed that one away, and then goes ahead and just takes care of business at the goddamn API. Tiny little pop gun Henley. So he's capable of taming a big golf course in a big field. So, he's been showing up in the majors a lot, dude. He's underrated big time in the majors.
No, I honestly agree with you. And the fact that he's 70 to 1 on DK, I genuinely think that's like a solid bet. And if he didn't, like, I don't know, maybe him winning Bay Hill like opens something up for him. I mean, he's without it. I think he's the 8th ranked golfer in the world right now. Maybe you I think without a doubt, he's top 12 in the world, like just consistently. He got his big win. I don't know, 70 to 1 right now at the Masters it might be a play. Just considering his world ranking to odds, I think it's out of whack. I honestly hate my list because you really you took some stakes and I like it. My number 9th golfer, you know what? I'm taking him off the list. It was Joaquin Niemann. He's not in my top.
I would have pushed hard against him.
Okay, fine. So, I'm in. I'm not going to pretend I didn't even have him. Yeah. Although I don't think he is going to win the Masters, I will go Decky in my 9 spot. 3 signature events win over the past year. Masters champion. We've seen guys like Bubba and, others win 2 Masters. I don't love the form right now. He's not really playing well since his century, but just overall ability to win big events and be in contention plus course history, I do like Decky. So I'll put him at 9. My 8th guy might be my most controversial. This is probably where a bit of, my personal insight is in it, but Ludwig is my 8th most likely golfer to win the Masters. What are your thoughts on that?
I've got him ranked up there a little bit, so I'm on board with you. I could not put him in the top 5 because he had a career putting performance in his debut at the Masters, dude. Like the likelihood of that ever happening is so absurd because you need course history and just to have your best putting performance in your debut. That's just like the stars aligned, like his chipping is very sketchy. I don't know how he's this good of a golfer with as bad a chipping as he does. He's got a massive glaring issue with that. And his putter kind of bails him out of a lot of bad chips, but still like him outside the top 5 for sure as an option. guy's uber talented. Now we're picking up bigger tournaments
Yeah.
like the Genesis and stuff. So he's coming in with lots of
My thing
confidence.
about Ludwig at the Masters is that I thought it was very telling that his odds did not shift after he won the Genesis because he was already priced so low
Hmm.
at the Masters given his performance last year that he was priced like he already won a bunch of PGA Tour events, which he hasn't. I also, and this is where I don't care about the stats. I don't like guys that contended hard at the Masters the year before. The leaderboard, the top 5 at the Masters changes drastically from year to year. You don't see a lot of guys contend hard at the Masters back-to-back years. You just don't really see it. I'm sure there are some examples here and there, but I don't like that guys that contended that hard. I firmly do not believe Ludwig is winning the Masters this year. I think he's way more likely to win the PGA or US Open. Who is your number 8 guy?
Will Zalatoris,
I
number
hate
8.
it. I hate it. Hate it.
Dude, most likely to win. He's just a guy that shows, I don't care what he's got up to this year. He just shows up at these majors, man. And
He is not the same guy he was in 2022.
I will adjust my list after the Masters this week. In the 2 weeks time. If he struggles, then we know the cat's out the bag. He's not the same guy. But man, he wasn't playing the greatest golf when he was knocking things around majors. Like majors are mental. There's a lot of mental stuff that goes on in majors. Ask Joaquin Neiman. And you find guys that just thrive in them, regardless of what they're bringing to the table. They're going to bring you goddamn deviled eggs or just like bacon wrapped sausages, whatever they are. He's showing up with the best. And I just think he's going to win a major, man. He's going to do it like one way or another.
Fine. It's okay. I think he is not deserving of his current odds of 30. 35 is not that bad. He's great at Augusta. I mean, has to be the biggest reason is he's like a walking top 10 there when he's healthy and tees it up. So I understand that. I think he is a bit overrated right now. I don't think
Odds-wise.
his
Odds-wise,
odds
yeah.
reflect what he's done at all, really. I wouldn't have him in my maybe top 15, 17 or so. But my next guy, I do not believe he is. I'm curious if he's in your top 10 because you seem anti-live.
I'm very hard against
I
these
am
guys.
Bryson at 7.
Not in my top 10. Not around Augusta. Not around
I mean,
Augusta.
he was
The
a
only
first
time he
round
had a
leader
really
here
good round
last year.
was, dude, he did all of it when it was like a TrackMan venue. Soft, scoreable conditions. That's where he got so far ahead of the field. I think it's still like you can't put the scientist on the canvas. Like he's the scientist. You got to be an artist around Augusta.
I mean, he was the second best major player last year.
Last year, absolutely. Dude, I'll put him in the top 3 for PGA. I'll put him in the top 5 for US
Augusta, just
Open.
out on him.
Just around this golf course, he's just never really brought it to the party outside of one super spike round. Like he was very normal from rounds 2 onwards.
I just think, what he did in the majors last year is hard to overlook for me. So
yeah, this is an Augusta top 10 BK.
Yeah. And I trust him. Down the stretch. Who is your 7th?
All right, are you ready for this one?
Dude. Yeah.
Justin Rose, number 7. Dude,
I love the list. I love the list.
He finished runner-up at the Open Championship. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have a hard and fast rule for the majors. If you haven't finished second or better in a major before, you are not getting my money.
You always post that.
I love that trend, and it's kicking out hard right now. Like everyone that's played well in majors is winning majors. So there's guys that don't check that box. Rosie's got the US Open under his belt. He's got a recent T2 or a second. He's on full swing. I just started watching that this week. Mentions, dude, like that's all he cares about now is winning legacy events, and the Masters is I'm betting him top first round leader for sure at the Masters. I think Rosie's an absolute yes in that department. He's at number 7, dude. I like him a lot. He's vying for it, man. He's just blue collar. I love it. So he's great in majors. Great in majors.
No beef with the bet. I think if you like him at 7, you should bet him. he is currently 150 to 1 to win the Masters.
Dude, there we
On
go.
the card?
Oh yeah, I'll bet it right now.
Okay,
like I think
sweet.
that's the way to go for sure. Where's that at?
Xander is 6 for me.
Yes.
I don't think he's winning 3 out of the last 4 majors. I just don't think that's happening. I think he's hard mixed for a top 10. But gained 11, had one of his like best iron weeks of his career at the Valspar. Gained like 12 strokes on approach there. That was very impressive. He's third favorite right now. They haven't really adjusted, but for me, it's purely the fact coming off an injury, and he's not going to win 3 out of the last 4 majors and be a U.S. Open away from a career Grand Slam in such a short amount of time. So I have him 6, which I think would, I'm happy with 6. Is he in your top 10?
Yes, he's in my top 10.
Okay, sweet.
I'll get to him here shortly, but I've got Ludwig 6. We've spoken about him, and then I've got Xander 5.
You got Xander 5. Fine with that. I think we're pretty close.
My issue with him is the short game. I get the iron play is right there, but he's spoken about being in the heat of the battle. Like the guy who's speeding juice is trying to make the cut. I don't want that coming into this kind of a week. I understand what he gets up into these majors and, cash that top 20, top 10 in all 4 majors for him last year. Guy's a stalwart, but there's issues going on, like the short game around Augusta.
This is, like kind of a joke of a take, but I feel like when you take a long break from golf and you start playing in the spring, your short game takes the biggest to kind of get back because it's a lot of touchy feel stuff. Like it's, you kind of like need that experience. So I think that makes sense. And
I'm shocked that he didn't play this week. I'm shocked that he's not playing.
Dude,
Valero.
Someone in our Discord was like going crazy that Xander wasn't playing.
He needs reps. He needs reps, dude. Unless he's chipping and putting his ass off, I want his hands to come on there just and see the bones in his fingers.
Most top players are not playing 2 events before Augusta post.
He needs to though. He's not feeling it right now. So
okay, I understand. I just think if you're a top player, you play once after the players, and that's kind of it.
Yeah, he is a top player, but he's not playing like one right now.
So you have Xander 5, right?
Xander 5, Ludwig 6.
I'll give my 5th. John Rahm, I guess. I mean, you can't just finish like that. It's not easy to just finish top 10 on Live every week. That's one of the most. It's up there with Jack Nicklaus's 18 majors, top 10 every single event on Live. It's one of the most impressive feats in golf. I think Rahm will have a good major year. I think last year was definitely a big of a disappointment. I think people expect and should expect more from him. Masters champ. Do I think he's going to win 2 out of the last 3? No, not necessarily, but he's in my top 5 most likely to win.
I've got him number 4 for that exact reason. I think just too good of a major player historically. He had a Brooksy type of a 2024 for sure. Yeah. Those two just did not show up at any of the majors really. But Rahm, didn't he play well at the Open?
Yeah, he was top 10 at the Open.
So, that's a bit of hope in that department. He's got good form. He's showing very good consistency on Live, which, is always good to see.
Kieran Vincent and Anthony Kim, I mean, you should finish top 10. But genuinely, he should play well at Doral. I mean, it's a great course for him. It's in Florida, bombs away. I would like to see something from Rahm and Brooks. After Al, but I'm happy with him in my top 5. My 4, I'm gonna say he's not on your list, but I really think he's playing some of the best golf in the world. Has some great finishes at Augusta.
I don't know who this is.
Needs a win. Only win big events. I got JT on at number 4 for my power rankings for Augusta. He's playing top 6, 7 golf in the world right now. Undoubtedly playing top golf in the world right now. And he is showing that he has the potential. I'm not going to say to be world number 1 again, but to be firmly top player on the PGA Tour and top 5 in the world. So I have JT 4. I'm guessing he's not on your list.
He's not in my top 10. Okay, I just think fine. He's a yo-yo. The further from the lead he gets, the better he spins back at you. You kind of zing that thing out there. He's just dude, the inconsistencies that he's had in his rounds, like to be in contention when he was at the Valspar after what he got up to in that front nine on Thursday is incredible. You know, like, but he plays his best when he's got like this carrot to chase. He doesn't do anything well when he's like, the moment he took the lead, what was it, 2 or 3 holes? I know you're going, there's a lot of coincidences that happen there. You go into the snake pit. At some point, you got to make a bogey or two after playing such good golf. But, you know, like he's not like savage anymore. You know, he's not a savage, and it's just bothering me. And the major track record for him, bad. The last little while has been Head Case City. He is the mayor of, and it's just like, where's it been? You know, like he's just not doing it. So I know he's got a kid he's got a kid now, and I totally understand what your life turns into when those things show up. So I'm gonna have to see a major performance from him at some point before.
No beef with that.
Yeah,
I
it's
totally
fair.
understand some pushback there, but you know, he's currently 18-1 to win. So I think that, you know, I have a future on him. Maybe I'm a bias, but who is your number 4?
The only way I'm betting JT is live, by the way. Like when he just makes the cut, like at the Valspar. That's like textbook JT.
Did you tell me your 4? Is it Rom?
It's Rom.
Okay.
Rom.
So who's 3?
I've got Colin. And now this is just power ranking.
Yeah.
Jesus, does he win this thing? Never. But who's most likely to finish inside the top 5 all the time at a major? Colin Morikawa. And you can bet Colin Morikawa for top 20 in all 4 majors, 14-1 at Bet365, 66-1 for top 10. So got those 2 bets rocking and rolling right now. Just zero clutch. But dude, his major track, like his short game gets better in majors. His overall consistency, he's always around the top 5. So I could not put him in there. He's just super, super good right now.
I don't know. I think the only person you could realistically put at 3 is Rom over Colin. Like, I think Colin's pretty firm 3. And the only other person I could put there is really Rom at the moment. But yeah, I agree. My biggest knock on him is that he played in the final group last year. And again, I kind of like to see more major turnover for year to year at the Masters. So, you know, I think that's something kind of working against him. But at the end of the day, yeah, I mean, he's probably a walking top 10 at Augusta this year. And like you said, the major, you know, form is incredible. I do think, and I talked about it on the pod before, that, you know, he kind of won at an unsustainable rate early in his career. And I don't know if he gets to 3 this quickly. But that's just me personally, like, you know, golf outlook, you know, no data or anything, just, you know, being realistic. I think it would be big for him to get to 3 before a lot of really good players. But I 18-1, I don't think is terrible. I think he'll be in contention. I'm going to assume that you are Scotty 1, Rory 2.
Yes. So, I mean,
how close is it for you between them?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
Not around or at Quail. I might even flip it over the other way.
Okay.
But this Masters, man, Scotty, it's like his backyard. He knows that place so well. He knows how to play it so well. He's the defending champ, obviously, you know, which is a problem. But if there's anyone that's shown us that the defending champ trends don't work, it's him. You know, players back to back. The guy, when he finds it, now, is he on his A game?
Putter looks good.
Putter looks good, but it's what's keeping him in the game. You know, like the putter was this week. So the lefties are coming off the tee. He's not nearly as he's not automatic on the ball striking front right now. Scotty wise, great. You know, the stats are amazing, but compared to his previous 2 years, he's down. You know, so it's a concern. But again, this is Augusta. You know, these guys. It's the biggest course history venue on the planet. So when guys that play well, you got to play them.
I do not think Scotty is winning the Masters this year. Like, to me, it's just coming off an injury, hasn't been his top form. Last 2 times he won the Masters, he won multiple times before. He hasn't done that. he would win 3 out of 4 Masters, which only Jack Nicklaus has done. Tiger Woods has never won 3 out of 4 Masters. Jack Nicklaus did it in like the 60s. Back to back, also tough. You know, he was in great form in 2022 when Rahm won and he couldn't putt. I do not think he's winning. I don't. And I think more of an outsider is going to win this year. Where are you at on Rory McIlroy winning the Masters? I don't think there would be a better golf storyline. I don't think there would be something that people would want to see more. It would be amazing. Everyone would call their dad and tell them they love him. Like, where are you mentally? Where are you on Rory's mental ability to win Augusta?
0. Like, you know, I know that's not 0, but pretty close to. You know, I just think it is in his head so hard. You know, the scar tissue there is red hot chili pepper level. And it's just like, I'm not entirely sure what he's going to get up to. And he's always but granted, he is probably playing the best golf he's ever played.
Exactly. That's where it's like, and also, if you look historically, DJ won 3 times before the Masters. Scotty won 3 times before the Masters. Scotty won 2 times before the Masters last year. Rahm won 3 times before the Masters. Like, guys that are winning on the PGA Tour against the best fields have been winning the Masters historically. But with Rory, you can kind of throw that out the window and just be like, nah, like, he has too much scar tissue, and he's obviously one of the most talented golfers of all time, but there's something different at Augusta, and he's just not going to do it. But I do think, and I think most people agree, that this is his best chance to win Augusta in a while.
Yeah, this is it. And I honestly feel that way. You know, like, this is the week he has to do it. I've been riding him so hard this year so far, unsuccessfully. And I'm like freaking out. Do I leave him alone? Because if I do and he goes and wins this thing, and I've bet him 3 times this year already, what the fuck am I really doing here? You know, like, I'm going to feel like such an idiot when he goes and puts on a green jacket.
But you just said he has no chance to win.
I know, but the reason...
So then you can't bet him.
I probably won't, and it's probably... And thank you. You guys are very welcome for him putting on a green jacket. You know, like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do yet with him. Because it's what is he at? What is I should have this.
He's 650.
See, that's the thing. It's like,
you can't
price
bet that.
Is like,
you cannot bet that. You cannot fucking bet that.
No.
You could bet that at the US Open or PGA, and it's still insane. I mean, we haven't even brought up the fact that he hasn't won a major in 10 years.
11 years.
Like 11 years, like, but you cannot bet that. I'm sorry, you cannot bet Rory 6.5 to 1 at Augusta. You can't do it.
No, you can't. But like I said, I'm backed into a corner right now, like, morally, you know. So I've got some demons I'm fighting.
I think a mid-tier guy is winning the Masters this year.
Ooh. Okay.
So I don't like putting your whole, you know, all your eggs in one basket on one guy. I think you should spray the board from 20 to 70 to Russ Henley, because I think that I'm throwing Scotty out, I'm throwing Rory out, Colin probably not going to win, Rahm maybe, you know. We're going to get a Mike Weir, Sergio Garcia, Patrick Reed major, Decky Masters winner this year. I've said it a bunch. I will Vic lap it if it happens. Like, that's how I feel.
So Will Zalatoris.
He's not winning. He's not winning. I'm sorry, he's not winning. It's fine. I think that was our biggest disagreement, but I'm glad that you have faith in Will Zizzle.
Rosie, dude, 150. I'm
nuke. Legit nuke. I'm fine with that. Valero Texas Open is this week. We have a pretty good field. You know, we got Ludwig, Tommy, Connors, Cantley, Decky, Keegan, Spieth. It's a solid week before you know, the biggest event of the year. I like this course. You know, I think this 3 tournament stretch is great. Full size fields. Difficult conditions ish. I know Houston was one at a pretty big number, but you know, I think this is a pretty solid golf course. You know, I was listening to Andy's preview. You know, got to be pretty accurate off the tee, but like looking for really hot iron players, really good iron players have won here. Historically, course history guys like Chuck Hoffman and Spieth also fuck here, and everything. Is there anything high level stuff you're thinking about for the Valero this week?
Yeah, I think Michael Kim's going to withdraw tomorrow.
Okay,
We'll
so
see
you'll
that
Vic
coming.
lap that, green check
So,
it if it happens.
Get those bets in now before the odds shrink after Kim WDs. But
Yeah.
no, 45 to 1. That's not going to do too much damage.
Yeah. I top of the board, under 20 to 1. There's a couple guys, Decky, Cantley, Connors, Fleetwood, Pat, and Cantley. Is there anyone you're thinking about, have interest in that top 5 that you want to bet here?
I've clicked a bunch of names here just as some leans, and the first one starts at 50. So
so you're good here.
Okay, yeah, I'm cool. Like it's perennial nobodies. And I mean, does Ludwig want to win this thing before the week?
No.
That's
Fleetwood's
the thing.
Not going to win. Connors isn't going to win 3 out of whatever 6. Pat, I could see a sneaky. I could see a sneaky Pat victory. He's been playing some really good golf, and I could see him winning some slapdick event before Augusta.
Yeah. And Hideki just randomly just winning another tournament like right before the.
I don't like his form right now. He probably got his win.
Not playing well enough right now.
What are your thoughts on Keegan? I like Keegan. I want to bet Keegan, but I don't like the number.
I saw Keegan, like as great course fit. Like I think he's going to win any tournament. I don't think he's looking to hunt down majors. He wants to put himself on the team, and a tournament win gets you points, dude. Like I don't think he gives a shit which one it is. He just wants to get on that team. I think more so than just being the captain. So a 22.
It's tough number, but he's been playing so freaking good. It's hard. I really don't want to hop off because he, I mean, 5th at API, 20th at the Players. Some good, but his irons have been really, really hot. The ball striking's been really, really good. I right now I'm sitting here. I think I'm just gonna bet him, and I'm betting Keegan 22. Sucks number, but whatever. I think I'm in.
You don't think someone pops a 25 or something out there tomorrow?
I'll wait. I hope, but
yeah.
I would be willing to pull the price. Denny 25. Okay. That's pretty funny.
Who?
That's got to be Denny McCarthy is 25.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's just That's just literally last year. 1 9 worth of golf that these guys are waiting way too much right now. But
I think he'll get absolutely zero action. I could see Spieth winning this event.
Smiley Kaufman, Ricky Fowler, Jordan Spieth, Justin Thomas. They're all the boys that they've just lost. They've lost the edge. Like the winning ability is just came so easily and so naturally to them. Smiley's in the booth now. Ricky's in the booth with Smiley half the time. Like there's just nothing from those 4. And at 22, at Spieth at that number. So I like him. I've always said with Spieth, you ride that roller coaster alone. Your throw up needs to be the only throw up on your face. I don't want your throw up on my face. Like when we go through the loop-de-loops. 22, that's too much. Too much to ask.
I don't know. He's been playing decent, but I don't know if he's necessarily worth it at this number. I'm probably out, to be honest. Akshay's not going back to back. I know Andy likes Siwoo Kim. I'm okay with that. I'm probably not gonna bet him, but maybe possibly. Finau, he's dead. Absolutely no chance. I bet Berger 40 to 1. Thoughts?
It's like a bit of flop lag stuff. Everyone was on him around Florida. Didn't quite produce, but that wasn't that long ago. Like if you think about what you need, this is very Florida-y. You just got massive forests instead of water. Kind of getting your ball in trouble. Love the course fit for him.
He's won in Texas before. He's won a difficult condition course in Texas. Accurate off the tee, great iron player. Can win in contention. The numbers moved. He was like 45. Now he's 40. Now he's 35. So he's getting some action. But
yeah, I see it, dude. Just another. He's like similar. He's like in the next phase compared to Xander, where he's just come back. He had 1 or 2 tastes of contention and kind of didn't nest outside of the RSM. He's kind of melted down a little bit. I want to see a bit more from him under the gun. Maybe that's this week and he wins it. But I've changed my threshold. I'm now at 45 to 1 as my lowest guy. So
So
Tom
who you
Kim.
looking at? Who you
Tom
got in
Kim.
the 40? You like Tom Kim?
Dude, if we're looking for iron players, Tom Kim, dude, his irons are just on fuego right now. He just can't putt and chip.
Yeah.
Like he's just doing dumb shit around the greens. So if he can just figure that out at 45-1, I feel like that's 3-time winner. I mean, if you take a look at the winners about like ahead of him, yeah, we've got Denny McCarthy that's like 20 points less than Tom Kim. Tom's got like 3 W's more than he does in 3 years of professionalism. So iron play is just on point.
Did he hit his irons well at Valspar?
It was solid.
Okay.
I know the week before he gained like 8 or 9 strokes. You know,
I
like
bet
that
him
was
at Valspar because of that. And
yeah,
it was shit.
yeah, same year. So I think what did he do at gained 1 round like 0.93 per round, so like 4 strokes at the.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
He hasn't lost on approach this year.
Wow. All right, I can see the case. Yeah, he's first in approach in this field over the last 24 rounds. I don't know how weighted that is, based off that player's performance. But any thoughts on Bud Cauley? Is he just like
that was my 50?
You're
also,
in.
Dude, you see what he got on the ball striking front at Valspar? He was like leading the field. So love what he's getting up to on that side. And another little dinky golf course. I know it's a long course, but you got to be a bit of a plotter around you. This is the venue for you.
It's not like JJ. I mean, if JJ Spawn can win here, I don't think there's really any concerns about being too short.
Ches Reavy, like, geez, dude, you're good to go.
Win here?
No, but he was like, I remember having him, and he was just insane. Like he was right in the mix until he wasn't. So
okay,
it was, but same thing. This is the world we're living in here at the San Antonio Oaks course, and there's guys that are perfect fits that have been flying. I think Valspar's a great comp for this golf course.
Yeah.
To be honest, like if you're looking for a recent one, definitely think so. So he's moving, and he's been feeling those juices. Like he's been now, I think, players T6, Valspar top 5.
Yeah, I'll hand up. I thought Bud Cauley I thought he was a bad play at Valspar, like coming off the biggest week of his career.
Yeah,
but
same.
to back that up, I thought was very impressive.
With the ball striking and not just chipping and putting, like that's good to see.
He's
very similar. Yeah.
I like Novak.
Yep.
I like him on more difficult courses. I don't love the recent form, to be completely honest. He doesn't seem to be able to do it for 72 holes, but he's someone I'm eyeing, not someone I'm, necessarily 100% going to bet.
I'm in on Novak. He's a method play. Over 50-1 in a field like this. A goodish field, but dude, he's not going to show you anything. He's just going to like pop out the bushes and be like, hello, I'm here to win this thing. Like he's so sporadic. And at 60, I'm cool with that. 25, obviously, we're not going to be debating Novak at 25, but at 60, I'm cool. He's got all the traits to kind of take care of this golf course. It's just getting a nice number there.
I feel
someone
like
that's flirting with the lead a lot.
I feel like you have to bet Rose 75. I actually don't even hate that bet.
No.
Miscut at the players, but he was 8th at API.
Yes, dude. And he's doing such good stuff. So at that number, let's go. And hopefully we get better tomorrow. He
has never played this event.
Think about what Corey Connors does. That's like literally Justin Rose in a nutshell, apart from...
He's never played this event, though. I don't like that.
Dude, Justin Rose is a professional golfer. He's number 7 in my model, my power rankings for the Masters. I mean, this guy's 75-1.
You have to bet it. If I don't see him on your card, I will be pissed.
Yeah. No, we're betting right. I've got it highlighted. Yeah. So we are rocking and rolling with him. We've skipped over
flop leg.
Gary Woodland.
No, stop.
55.
That's a terrible fucking number. That's an awful number,
dude. He's feeling it right now.
If he miscut, if he missed the cut at Houston, he would legitimately be in the 200s.
Potentially, but dude, he's good on these like club down courses. He's going to be sizzling 2 irons.
Dude,
through these
Gary
trees.
Woodland, in my opinion, is one of the worst bets on the board.
Okay.
You said, these books are adjusting based off 1 week. Why is Danny McCarthy, 25 just because of last year? Gary Woodland does not deserve to be 55-1 in this field. I'm sorry.
The ball striking's been super good. Like this year, he's been solid there.
It's been
And
all right.
you know, the you never know, dude. Lightning in a bottle, 55-1. Fuck it, it is what it is.
I think I'm taking a pass
Okay.
on him. Harmon, oh how the mighty have fallen.
Mm,
70-1 in this field, major champ. That's kind of a tough look. Lee Hodges,
intriguing.
eye emoji. He's
Mm-hmm.
coming off an injury, but 11th at Houston, 57th. Yeah, he hasn't played. Last week was his first week. Gained at every major category. Gained 5 strokes from tee to green. I could see myself getting to Lee Hodges 80-1. To be completely honest.
And first round leader. Definitely, I'll be
Sure.
betting him first round leader because
Any reason on that or
his round one stuff is nuts. He did it again. He finished like top 15 after round one, first tournament back at Houston.
okay? I'm fine with that. Lee Hodges
Yeah.
first round leader
Mm, mm,
on my card, squad ride,
yeah.
dual play. I'm down for that. Max McGreevy, Jesper Svensson. I could ride with
Jesper? Yes.
Jesper Svensson.
Let's go. Again, got a taste of the top of the board. He's also one of these Nuke
I'm
City
out.
guys off the tee. What?
His irons have been awful. Lost 4, lost 3, lost 6 last 3 starts.
What did he do this week? I mean, he's at the top of the board there. I like him on the shorter courses too. He's like 110-1. You know what I'm saying? Like that's also I'd have to bet $10 to win $1,000. I feel like that's very affordable.
Any other notables?
Yes.
North. Who else?
Other notables.
Who's
Rio
tracking the fence?
Hitsatsuni, 170-1.
He's an accuracy iron guy. I know.
Yeah.
Beef.
170. Let's go, dude. The guy was just literally trying to win the
170 is a
Valspar
good number.
2 weeks ago.
170?
Yeah, 170-1. So
wow,
yeah,
dude.
And
that's
then
a good number.
very nice number, and an even better number. And if you're looking for guys with good iron play, Matteo Manacero, 400-1. You know what I'm saying? Like he's not going to go to Houston and dominate. He played okay in Houston, made the cut, did his thing. Irons have been solid. I'm taking a peek here. I'm like, he's
did
been
it
doing
all short game and putting last week. This at Houston.
well. Houston, it's like Minwoo Lee just won Houston. He's not Min. He's the antithesis of Minwoo Lee. You know what I'm saying? He's an older man now. Just plods it out there. I think it's a perfect situation for him at 400-1. I mean, geez,
Okay,
buddy.
you can't make a bad bet over 400-1.
No,
Like at that point, it's just like do whatever you want. Like no beef from me there. Yeah, I right now I'm kind of thinking like a Keegan, Berger, maybe Tom Kim, Lee Hodges kind of card. Cam Young 100.
No. You say Cam Young? Cam Young?
100-1?
Dude, Cam Young's on the list of the worst outright bets. I post that stuff all the time. It's Sung Jae, Justin Thomas, Cam Young, Colin Morikawa, Patrick Cantley. They're all on that list. I'm not going to try to be first on that. Like I'd rather be late to the party. Like win one, I'll take your second one when you do that. But you got to show me something first. I mean, he's a mental case, a complete mental case, dude. Like if you can't take
Coming
down
off
people,
a runner-up finish in TGL.
I've got nothing for you there. It's just a blanket
100-1
situation.
Cam Young.
No, even like top 10, and then
Not
call it a day.
even,
Like
not even a little bit.
no, zero. You will never find me betting Cam Young ever.
Fuck. Okay, fine. That I'll take. I needed to hear that. I think. I'm kind of good on names for Valero.
Sam Stevens, sorry,
Okay.
51 as well.
You like? Why is he 50?
Great course history. Yeah, he's played nice.
Really? 18? Yeah, lost all around the green at Houston. What did he? Is he actually good here?
Very good.
Yeah. He has a runner-up. He finished runner-up here. I don't remember that at all.
That was when Patrick Rogers was trying to win it.
Yeah,
like
he did finish runner-up, final round 66. Okay, course history is sticky here, so no real beef.
His irons like 3 or 4 starts ago, before he played like 8 tournaments in a row, was really, really impressive. And maybe at a golf course that he likes, we can see those irons show back up again. Played nicely at Torrey all the time he played there, and then
It's okay. I don't know how Kyle knows that, but I'm getting word that this is Sam Stevens' home course. He's a member here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
Lock it
you,
in right now.
like just pound it
50.
at 55-1. Okay, fine. No, that's what I was curious. Novak has him. He was good here that year.
Yeah.
So, so you were on full swing. Like, had that. Also, what did you say to Dan Rappaport on the media bus?
That'll be between me and Dan.
Oh, fuck off.
No, I'm
What
joking.
did you say?
I had a couple vodka Red Bulls. This was before we
I
climbed on
know
the
you
media
like.
shuttle.
We're similar. We both like to drink. I
Yeah.
could, so no beef there. So,
So
you were a little jazzed up.
a little jazzed up. I personally, like you can't love everyone in the world. I don't love Dan Rapp. People just, it happens. Then I see this guy sitting literally 2 seats away from me. And I'm like, oh, God, this is Dan Rappaport. Then he opens his mouth and says, I don't know if Sahith's going to play that well around you. I don't think his driver's going to do it. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, Dan, Sahith Theegala is like one of the best at the time. Sahith Theegala was 20th in the world in strokes gained off the tee. I was like, what are you on about? Like, everyone's got this misconception about Dan Rapp, like, not Dan Rapp, Sahith, driver. And I just lost it. I felt like I was telling him the way I'm telling you, but according to Kenny and Jeff and them, I was like, I was a lot more zesty in my transcript there.
So you
I
were
don't know.
mad that he didn't know like data better.
Well, like it's just like this casual take, and maybe he didn't drive the ball well that week, but he's the 20th best driver of the golf ball in the world. And he's just saying this stuff as like Dan Rappaport on the media shuttle, like everyone needs to believe him. I was like, just setting the record straight, a little more.
How did he respond to it?
I don't remember. I think he looked it up and was like, oh, yeah. But then it was just like crickets for the rest of the ride because everyone was like,
because he had Kenny on his show and like he thought Kenny went at him and had him on. So I don't think it's a beef situation.
No, he was wrong about getting his information about when the information he got wrong was wrong. So like he's doubling down on being an idiot with like his takes, but each of their own.
That was a good content week when you guys were all up there.
Yeah.
And you were doing those live pods, and you guys were, enjoying some extracurricular activities.
Extracurriculars were
so that was a fun week. Are you going to that Mayo event in Toronto?
I don't think so. I'm bound to baby now.
Yes. Well, congratulations.
Montreal was like my final hurrah.
I'm happy for you and your family. So I'm glad things are well by you. Is any golf on the horizon? What's the weather like in Iowa?
Dude, I golfed on Thursday, and it was in a t-shirt and shorts. Fun. And now it's like there's hail on the ground, like it's snowing outside.
I played on Sunday. I played yesterday, and I was really happy with my approach. I really hit my irons well, hit a lot of greens, and like maybe on my second shot, like hit the green, and I have the bug. I want to play. Shit weather here for the next week. I'm pissed. It's April. Like I should be able to golf. It's been a really tough winter for golf. I'm done with the sim. I really need to get out on grass and start ripping it more.
Dude, I tried to change my grips for the first time since college on my clubs, and I changed them and took the layers of tape off for last year and played a full year with just like normal size grips. And I was just like hitting all my shots like 20, 15 yards shorter than normal. And I was like, Jesus Christ, I've got fat and I'm out of shape. I can't hit like a 7-iron over like 165 yards right now. I've changed my grips to mid-size grips this year. I changed them on Friday. Dude, I'm hitting it like 20 yards further immediately.
No way. I know the grip's important, but you really think it's because of that?
Yeah. Because like if my fat hands are just grabbing like a toothpick, there's like the club face is just like way too unstable. Like you got to have like a good grip on it, and it's completely changed everything. Like I'm like the bug has bit me in the ass like hard, and I'm ready to rock and roll. I'll go.
And you're ready to make some more hole-in-ones.
Oh, buddy, yeah, I'm looking for that 4th.
How many do you have again?
3. It's been a while. Last
Okay.
one was in college,
Okay.
so
Sweet.
but it's coming. It's coming soon.
Yeah. No, I hope I won't, but I hope I make a hole in one before you get to four.
Well,
I
you're
think
gonna probably have more golf than me,
yeah,
so
that's
like your
true.
volume is definitely there, but
Yeah.
quality
Yeah.
might not.
Yeah.
Um, especially with my reputation. So that fourth one's on the horizon. It'll
Yeah.
be soon, probably before the
For
end of June.
For sure. So again, I really appreciate you coming on the Sunday night. Everyone obviously follow Byron on Twitter. Again, I am the reason you have a golf Twitter. If you do remember, I
Yes,
think
long
anyone
time ago.
kind of came to that conclusion of being like, yeah, I was like, dude, start a golf betting page. Like not everyone, I love the Jets. Um, but who's going to
That
be the
makes
Jets
one of
quarterback
us.
this year? Justin Fields?
I don't know. This sums up like this is my Jets coaster. Look at like it's broken and like
Yeah, it's
nasty.
disheveled.
That's
Yeah,
just me. That's
yeah.
my fandom. I'm done. The last year was it. Woody Johnson and the antics he got. Like I've done. BK, you want to know how long I've been in the States for?
15
Look up
years.
the Jets playoff drought.
Never made, yeah.
The time I show up and become a Jets fan, that I have never seen a Jets playoff game ever. It is now one of the longest active playoff droughts
It is the
in the
longest, yeah.
major league sports, and I'm a fan of this fucking team. And it's like, at some point, sanity has to prevail, man. I
Yeah.
can't keep doing this stuff and subjecting myself to this team. I give them my all, and they give me nothing. Peanuts,
Yeah, it's
scraps,
tough.
Woody
Tough
Johnson,
relationship
baby
to be
oil.
in.
Like
Yeah.
that's it. Like I'm done with that, man. I'm done. And there's one or two people that if I see them walking past my house in civilian clothing, I will go fight them. Dan Rappaport's probably lower down that list. He's did not obviously fight him in, but he was wearing his media credentials. But Nathaniel Hackett, if I see him walk past my house in jeans and a t-shirt, I will go and fight that man. I cannot handle him. He completely derailed Zach Wilson's chances of being a good quarterback. I know Zach, people don't fancy him, but he's got ultra talent. And just Nathaniel just never did anything good with that. So I will fight that man if I ever see him live.
That's fair. That's totally fair. I have a lot of Jets fans in my life, and they share a lot of your misery, and it's definitely a tough spot to be in. So we will see everyone next week for the Masters. It's finally here. Massive week. Got a little preview in this week. Join ISN, and we will see everyone next week. Andy will be on. Andy will be the guest. Everyone have a great night and a great week.